Hi, friends. I'm Selena with the Mississippi Council on Economic Education, and I'm delighted that you are here with me right now. We are about to go over the items that are in your Family Financial Fun Night kit. And so this will be a guide for you on how to use the materials that are in there, just like if we were together. So, what we'll do is I'll give you instructions and you can follow those instructions. And then I will tell you where on the video you should probably pause and do some work. Okay. So, if you're watching this, you're a student, a young person, and you're probably working with your mom or your dad or a grandparent or a teacher or some other caregiver in your life. And so we're going to have a good time learning about money. So right now, if you will go ahead and open your box, okay, it's probably taped up, but you can open it. And let's look and see what's inside our boxes. So on the top is a piece of paper that is for the adult that's working with you. And we'll go over that later. Okay. So you can just set that to the side. And then you also have a workbook of sorts. It may be this one's for kindergarten through second grade, but yours may be for a different age. You can also set that to the side. We're not going to be using that right now. That's for later. Okay. So let's look in our boxes and find the envelope that says activity 1, and you will open that. Go ahead and open that. And inside, I'm not going to open this one because this is my example, but inside you will, let's set this over here, you will find a piece of paper. Well, let me go ahead and show you what's in here. We'll open these together. All right. Do you see the piece of paper that looks like this? I want you to go in your box and get your scissors. And we're going to cut these out. So these are job tokens. And you don't have to be specific about how you cut these, all right? We're just cutting them so that they are into separate pieces. You have some in here that say walk a dog, some that say wash a car, some that say run an errand, and some that say babysit. All right, so when you're through cutting, this is kind of what it looks like. You just have a bunch of different tokens, okay? Okay, so your next step is you want to buy a sweatshirt at the store and it costs $26. So how do we buy things? Well, we buy things with money and we have to earn money. Generally, it doesn't just fall from the sky. It doesn't grow on trees. We have to earn money. I mean, I know a lot of you probably, you have parents or grandparents that might give you money to do things, but for the most part, somebody has to earn that money. So you're going to earn $26 so you can buy a sweatshirt. And I want you to figure out how many of these jobs you're going to do to make $26. And you can do all of the same job or you can do different jobs. And you have another piece of paper that was in that envelope. Just turn it over. You can write on the back side of it to keep up with the jobs that you're doing and how much you're making. So for example, if I was going to wash a car, I would write down wash car for $7.50. And then maybe I want to babysit. So I'd write down babysit. And mom or dad's going to help you with this, okay? And I earned $5 doing that. Now, in your box, you have a calculator. So feel free to use that if you want, because what you're going to do is you need to add up how much money you're making. So as you make your choices, you can add those on a calculator. So far what I had chosen was I was going to wash one car for $7.50 plus babysit $5. So far I have earned $12.50. Okay. So you're just going to keep up with that on your sheet until you come up with $26. And then you can work with your grown-up to answer the questions that are on this front sheet. So since we're not together, I can't really ask and answer those questions, but whoever the grown-up is that's with you can do that. And you're going to talk about which jobs you chose and why. And, you know, if you were going to start a business doing one of these things, what would that look like? Could you design a flyer, you know, to go out? Say you were going to walk dogs. Well, you'd want to take flyers maybe to your neighbors in your neighborhood. And what would those flyers look like? And what other jobs could you do to earn money? So go over the questions that are on this piece of paper, and your grown-up that's with you can help you come up with answers. Right now, you should pause the video until you're through with activity 1. Okay, so now we're going to move on to activity 2. So let's open that envelope next. It's a blank piece of paper. What are we going to do with the blank piece of paper? So this activity is called, well, it doesn't tell you there, but it is called the meaning of money. And so what we're going to do on this one is we're going to use this blank piece of paper. In your box, you have colored pencils, so we'll use those. And you have a piggy bank that's full of money. So these are the 3 things that we need for activity 2. And if we were together, I would ask you, do you know where money comes from? Money's created or minted by a government's treasury. The treasury carefully controls how many dollars and coins are distributed. Do you know what money is used for? It's used as an exchange. Individuals receive money in exchange for work, which is known as income. So in activity 1, when you did that work, in exchange, you would have gotten money. And you might think about what other reasons people receive money for. What are some of the other things, other reasons that you might receive money? And you can talk about that with your grown-up. People also use money to purchase things, and that's called spending. They exchange the money for a good or service that someone else provides to them. So now what we need to do is we need to open our pig. Okay. The bottom just removes like that. And go ahead and take your money out of the pig. And there are all different kinds of coins that are in here. So what kind of coin is this? What kind of coin is this? What kind of coin is this? And what kind of coin is this? All right, so those are things that you're talking about with your grown-up. Let's talk with them about how much each one of these coins is worth. And what are the different things about the coins that helps you tell them apart, that lets you know that they're the different types of coins? So after you have that conversation, I need you to show me all the different ways that you can make 50 cents. So I'll just give you one example. Well, maybe I'll give you more than one. But what's the easiest way to make 50 cents? Would be two of these. 2 quarters. But you also have lots of other coins. So I want you to practice right now counting your money and coming up with 50 cents. And you can pause the video right now until you're through looking at your coins and counting them and figuring out the different ways to make 50 cents. Welcome back. So now you have talked about all your coins, you've looked at them to see what's on them, who is on them, what's on the front and the back. It's kind of cool to look and see where they were minted, and your grown-up will have to help you with this, but on your coins, there's a tiny little letter on the coin, and my grown-up eyes, even with my glasses, I'm not sure that I can see the letter, but let's see here. On my quarter, I see a little bitty D, a letter D. And that means that that coin was made in Denver. So look at your coins and see if you can see the letter, and then maybe you can have your grown-up help you look it up on the internet to see what those letters mean and where your coins were made. But now what you're going to do is let's just have a little art fun. So we're going to take our coins and you'll put it under your paper and you'll set that down on the table, and then take one of your colored pencils. So you have all these colored pencils. And let's make an imprint of our coins. So you'll have to actually set that down on the table. And I think if you press really hard with your coin, with your colored pencil, yeah, it works better. I've tried to do this before and it didn't turn out that well. I think I just wasn't pressing down hard enough with my colored pencil. But I want you to do this with all of your coins, and let's do a front and a back. See how that turned out? What is that? What kind of coin was that I imprinted? Can you tell? It's a quarter. So do that with all your coins. I'm going to ask you to pause the video right now, and when you're through imprinting all your coins, then come back to the video. Okay, welcome back. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take our money and put it back in our pig. Because, you know, one thing that we talked about, what do you use money for? There are actually 3 things you can do with money. You can spend it, you can save it, or you can give it away, like for charitable causes for people that need it. So I would love it if you would save this money, and maybe you can do some chores around the house. Maybe you can do some jobs that somebody will pay you for, and then you can keep saving your money in your pig until you have enough money to buy what you want to buy. Okay. All right, so that was activity 2. Let's go to activity 3 now. We are looking for the envelope that says activity 3. And you'll open that. And I'm sorry, my camera may be a little blurry. But what you're looking at now is a sheet that says needs and wants. So let me talk to you about that, and then we'll do an activity. A need is something that we require to live. A want is a desire or thing that we enjoy or like. That makes life more enjoyable when we have things that we want. Our values are our ideals and beliefs about what is good and bad, or what is desirable or undesirable. They help us judge items as needs or wants. Distinguishing between needs and wants help us to identify our priorities. While there will always be something we want, always, there are many things we already have and several free things that we strongly value. What are some examples of a need and a want? And you don't have to agree with others. There are no right or wrong answers. Well, sometimes there are, but and we'll talk about those things. But I want you to think about things that you need and things that you want. And then I want you to write on this piece of paper what those things are. All right. You can draw pictures of them. You can write the word. So, for example, if you want a dog, you would put that on this side, and you can either draw a picture of a dog or you could write the word D-O-G. So pause the video right now until you get your needs and wants written down. Okay, you're back. So that means that you've written down your items. So here's what we're going to do next. In your box, you have some magic markers. Okay, and you really only need 3 of them. You need the yellow, the green, and the blue. Although the blue may be kind of dark. Let's see. Let's do yellow, green, and pink. All right, so what you'll do first, if there's an item on your list that you don't already have, but you would like to buy it, you're going to highlight that one in yellow. If you currently have the item, you'll highlight it in green. And if it's free, if it's something that's free, you can highlight it in pink. So some of those things, you know, they may meet both criteria, okay? But so the things you're going to highlight in yellow, you don't already have, but you would like to have them. So an example might be a new video game, or a new, if you wrote something down about a sports, some sort of sports equipment like a bike or a football or something, highlight those in yellow. And then the things in green that you already have, so maybe you wrote down a book and you already have it, or you wrote down a pet like a dog or a cat and you already have that, then you'll highlight that in green. And if it's something that you need or want and it's free, like air that you breathe, or a hug, or love, those things you're going to highlight in pink. So you can pause the video now until you finish that part of the activity. All right, returning the markers to their container. Now we're going to move on to activity 4. I love activity 4. It's so much fun. Not that these others weren't, but I think activity 4 is the one that we have the most fun with when we are doing this in a class. Okay, so on this activity, there's a sheet of paper that looks like this. And it says, "Can I afford a dog?" And you also have some Smarties. Okay, so in the first round, here's what's going to happen. You have 15 coins to spend. So these Smarties, we're going to treat them like money. And you have all of these different things that you can spend money on as it relates to a pet. And so I want you to open the Smarties, and you're going to place them on the items that you're going to buy. So for example, if you wanted to buy food and treats for your pet, how many coins does that require? It requires 2. So you would take these and put them on top of those little circles. Okay. So you only have 15 coins, and you're going to take a minute or so to decide how you're going to spend your money. And there are only 15 of them. So you're not going to be able to buy everything that's on this list. I have counted these dots, but I don't remember. Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 30, 30. They're approximately, they're not quite, but almost 40 circles, and you only have 15 coins. So that means you're not going to be able to afford everything that's on this list. So you can pause the video right now and decide how you're going to spend your coins. Okay, welcome back. So you talked with your grown-up about how you were going to spend your money. You know, one thing I didn't tell you before we started this is that many people overlook the cost of having a pet, and they can be pretty expensive. I got 2 dogs. Let's see if I can show you here real quick. I didn't think about looking these up beforehand, but let me see if I can show you a picture of my dogs that I got last October. Okay. So that's Rosie. Isn't she sweet? And let me find her sister, Tulip. Tulip moves around a lot, so I don't get as many pictures of her as I get of Rosie. Let's see, I took a picture of her. Here she is. Well, that's a video. Hang on, because I know that you want to see Tulip. Oh. So there she is. She's napping. But we got them, they're sisters, and we got them back in August. And everything that I buy for one, I have to buy for the other. So that's really expensive. They have to have heartworm medicine so they don't get sick. And so each one of them has to have it for every month. And that's a lot of money. And so you just need to think about those kind of things before you get a pet, because they're a commitment, right? So, and if mom or dad or whoever says, no, we can't have a pet, then they probably have a reason for that. And it might be because of how much they cost. And you'll just have to wait until you're older to be able to have one. Okay, but so what you just did was you figured out how you were going to spend your money. Now it gets harder because we're going to take away 5 coins. So you just had 15. Now you're just going to have 10. You had 5, 5, 5. Now you're just going to have 5, 5. So think about, if you didn't have as much money, what are you not going to buy? Because that's how it really happens in real life. That's how your grown-ups have to manage their money. And when you ask them for things and they tell you no, try to be respectful of the fact that it may be because they're trying to budget their money and they don't have the money to buy those things that you want right away. Okay, so you can pause me until you finish that activity. Now, the last activity that we have is activity 5. And I don't seem to have, oh, there it is. There it is, activity 5. All right, so go ahead and open activity 5. And it looks like this. And this is a sample savings account register. Remember, when you make a withdrawal from your savings account, you subtract. And when you make a deposit, put money into your savings account, you add. So when you get your monthly statement from your account each month, you're going to do what they call reconcile your account, just to make sure that all the money that came in and out of your account, that you yourself did it and that somebody else isn't trying to use your money. Okay. So this is a little bit more complicated. We're going to use a pen or a pencil and a calculator for this. Okay. So first thing, first, write the date. You're going to have, see, these are your transactions and these are the instructions. So for each of these transactions right here, you're going to write the date that that transaction happened, put a description. So the first thing you're doing is on 10/4, a cash withdrawal of $15. So your date would be 10/4. The description would be cash withdrawal. And you might even, if you wanted to remember why you withdrew that money, you could put that there, you know, cash withdrawal to go to the movies or something like that. And then if it's a withdrawal, write the amount in the column marked C. If it's a deposit, you're going to write it in the column marked D. And then E is your balance. So you'll either add or subtract. So number one, on 10/4, let's write that in here. On 10/4, we had a withdrawal. And the amount was $15. Okay, so that's how that looks. And then for the balance, you need to take, you started in your savings account, you had $172.50. So you can use your calculator to do $172.50 subtract $15. Let's do that real quick. 172.5 minus 15 equals $157.50. Okay. So now you're going to go ahead and do transactions number 2, 3, and 4. And let's see how much money you come up with when you finish that. You can pause me right now and come back when you're done. Okay, so now you have entered all of your transactions into your savings register. And what did you come up with? I hope it was $182.50, because you would have started with $172.50 minus $15 plus $10 minus $25 plus $40. So that's good. You ended up with $10 more than you started with. And during that process, you spent how much? How much money did you spend? 15 and 25. Those were your withdrawals. So that was $40 that you spent, and you brought in 10 plus 40, $50. Okay. Good job, y'all. I'm proud of you. All right, let's see. So those are all the activities. Some of the other fun things you have are one of these little, whoop, it's a flying pig. You know, you've heard that saying, when pigs fly, well, these pigs will fly. So that's a little squishy pig just for fun. And then some of the other items that you may have in your box is, some of you may qualify to save money into a Mississippi Able account. And if you are, you should, if you do qualify, you can go to this website to find out more about that. You may have something in your box from United Healthcare, some materials from them. And if you're a young person that wants to go to college one day, then you should start thinking about saving for college, mom and dad, for your kiddos. And you can do that easily through what's called a 529 account. And Mississippi Affordable College Savings is a 529 account. And we'll make sure that there's information in your boxes about that as well. So if you want to check that out. So I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person, and I know this might not have been as much fun as if we were together, but I bet you still had a good time with your grown up, going through your activities, and I'd love to hear from you to hear how you enjoyed it. I'll include my information in your box, so that you can have your mom or dad let me know what you thought about these activities. Also in your box, as I mentioned, there's a workbook depending on how old you are. So these are some extra activities that you can do with your grown-up to learn more about money. So I hope that you'll have fun with that. And then there's also a piece of paper for your grown-up that just helps them talk with you about money, depending on how old you are, whether you're young, like in elementary school, or if you're a tween in middle school or a teenager in high school. These are some things that they can be talking to you about. Thanks a bunch for being with me today. Bye bye.